Hey Queen, my name is Katrina Lewis-Dixon and I am your host of the Humble Entrepreneurial Esthetician, where I want to normalize the struggle of being your own boss by sharing real, raw stories behind some of your favorite Etsys. Now let's boss up.
My name is Katrina Sarah Lewis, and I am your host of the Humble Entrepreneurial Esthetician. And today we have our guest, Vanessa. I am so excited to have her here today. She is an entrepreneur and an esthetician in the Ottawa area. She specializes in manicure and pedicure mobile services, and she also does waxing from home. She has over 12 years experience in the aesthetics industry and 7 years experience as an entrepreneur. How are you doing today, Queen?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for allowing me to, share your space with me and everything and allowing me here. And it's long overdue, but we're here. So today's topic is basically going to be about mobile aesthetics. We met at the Bush Bomb event back in August when they were doing a launch. And I was so excited to meet you because I remember when I was in school for business, I actually researched your brand because I was wanting to do mobile aesthetics. I was doing trying to develop an app for mobile aesthetics at the time. So I was doing my primary research and seeing who was doing it, how they were doing it. So I'm really excited for today's topic because there's a lot of other entrepreneurs that are out there doing mobile services as well. So you can share your knowledge and your tea with them.
Of course.
Yay! So tell the audience a little bit about yourself, why you became an esthetician, and then further on continued your education and started doing mobile aesthetics and running your own business.
So while I was in high school, I did a couple focus programs at St. Mark's. I was geared towards the personal industry. At first, I wanted to do massage therapy, but I did some co-op at some hair salons and decided that I wanted to pursue aesthetics. As soon as I finished high school, I went into the aesthetics field. I went to Versailles Academy just on Bank Street here in Ottawa, and that was a 1-year program. And I did some courses at a couple different spots, and I actually got hired at a salon shortly after I finished those trainings, right before I finished school. So I worked at that spot for a few years, and then I went down the street for another spa for a couple years after that, mostly doing everything: facials, massages, manicures, pedicures, and waxing and body treatments as well. So when I was at the second spa, I had my clientele, and mostly everybody followed me from the previous spot, which I was super grateful for.
Yes.
And that is when I decided that I wanted to take the plunge to work on my own. Yeah, so I literally decided this in 2 to 3 days.
Good for you.
Yeah.
How long were you working at that second location for?
The second location, I was there for almost 3 years.
Oh, wow. Okay, good.
Yeah. So I opened up my business. At the time, a lot of my clients were having babies, going on mat leave. I had some clientele who were a little bit older, retired. So when I mentioned doing the mobile manicures and pedicures, they're like, honestly, this is the perfect opportunity for you to do this. If I wasn't having you come to my house for these services, I wouldn't be getting it done. And I also thought of the person who is not capable, is immunocompromised, going through chemo, older, in handicap. You are in your own home, so you're obviously comfortable in the space that you do live. So it's accessible for everybody. And then doing the waxing from home is a little bit of a nice change for me, as I'm not always at home. I'm not always on the road. So it's a nice mix between the two, definitely.
That's awesome. I love that you got a job while you were in school, because I find if you get a job a little bit after school, you've almost lost your touch,
Yes.
And so you can kind of correlate all the knowledge that you've been learning at Versailles and then doing using all those tools and everything at work, right? So congratulations on that.
Yeah.
And it seems to be a very smooth transition, and you found a niche in the market and you went after it. Your clients had a certain they needed you basically at their house, and you started delivering. So I love that.
Yeah.
Now, did you do mobile first and then slowly transition at home for waxing, or were you doing it at the same time?
At the same time.
At the same time. Now, let's fast forward to the pandemic a little bit. Did you notice that a lot of clients, after obviously you're allowed to go over to their house and everything like that, did you notice that like there was an increase in volume with your clientele, or?
Definitely a huge increase as people still weren't comfortable. Some people are still not comfortable going into the spa for services.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely gained from COVID. It was also a huge learning experience for myself. You had to learn, you had to pivot, you had to change a few things, but we all got it done.
Yeah,
Here we are.
yes, I love it. I loved how you mentioned like the disability aspect too, because I've worked in spas where they have stairs. I want to say 2018, there's supposed to be a requirement where like you're not allowed to have stairs, like for like a business establishment, right? For people that are handicapped or just have disabilities and things like that. So that's like a huge pain point for a lot of people that aren't able to go to the spas, right? And even like we've had a spa before at Renew, and like it was in Westboro and it was accessible, but like it was such a long haul, and certain rooms, like if someone had electronic wheelchairs,
Yes.
they couldn't maneuver inside.
Aw.
So we would have to almost like lift them from like the door to the bed, you know? And that's just like, not only is it unprofessional, but it just makes your client feel uncomfortable, insecure, you know what I mean? And like if you can have it at their own house, then voila.
Absolutely.
And I like how you mentioned too, like during the pandemic, a lot of people like stopped going to the spa, obviously, but then like I have some clients like from like 8 years and they still don't come see me. Like they're still like super paranoid. They don't leave the house. They have 2 kids and they just want to stay home. And I was doing mobile spa for, oh my gosh, maybe like 2 years, maybe like 2016, 17, and 18, maybe 3. And I had a lot of clients that were reaching out to me and asking me if I wanted to go. But for me, it was a lot. Like I found like I was overbooking myself for sure, like of course, and I would do like a mobile service and then I'd have to like run home and do 3 or 4 clients, and then you have to take in mind like all the things that you're cleaning and depending on the service you're doing, obviously. But like, you know, your towels are all wet, right? You're not gonna go in your client's room and wash your laundry there. You're gonna do it at home, so you have to consider like the time travel and then obviously like how much time it takes for you to clean up.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
So what kind of equipment do you use to make your life easier in the mobile aesthetics industry?
My big 2 things of equipment are literally laundry bins. And whenever I go over to retirement homes or the nursing homes, the elderly ladies and patients always giggle. They're like, "Oh dear, you're here to do your laundry." And I'm in the elevator and I'm like, "No, like I'm here to do manicures and pedicures." And everyone is clueless. Like, why do you have so many things? But that's the thing. Doing mobile, you definitely need to be very organized. You need to have everything with you, and you don't want to be carrying 10 different things, especially if you are going into an apartment building or the hospital. I do go to the hospital for some patients.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And those are your clients you've had before?
No.
Or do you work with the hospital?
New patients, but it's literally just word of mouth, and people reach out to me through Facebook or Instagram. So it's great. But at these things, like you don't want to be carrying 100 different things. So literally my tools, polishes, all my disinfection, my towels. And then I always make sure that the patient is able to sit upwards in a chair, whatever is comfortable for them. And then the second thing for equipment would also be my pedicure basin, stainless steel. So it's easy for anybody to put their feet in. And it's also easy to disinfect properly as well.
Absolutely. And you disinfect that at their location, wherever they are?
Yes.
It depends, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then my tools, I disinfect after the service at home.
Okay.
So I have enough tools for my whole day.
Oh, good. I love that. You always need a spare. You never know, right?
You never.
Or if you drop something on their floor or anything. I love the laundry basket idea. I absolutely love that. I remember going to one of my clients' homes and she lived on like the 12th floor, and I would have like a big ass suitcase and then like one of those bags that I got from Amazon with all like the compartments and everything. And then I have like another book bag because she would do like massage, manicure, pedicure, sometimes waxing, right? So it's like not only like my wax pot, right? And that's something you want to keep even because I have spilled that all over before. And that was
That was bad.
And then it's like, you know, some, depending on what wax you're using, some have like a cap on it, right? But like a lot of pebble wax doesn't. So if it's like melted and like, you don't want to sit around all day, like waiting for it to cool down just to go home. But yeah, that happened and that was no bueno. But I love the laundry basket idea because they're wide, they're big, they're, you know, You can stack everything too.
That's it.
And also your bed, right? Like I used to bring my bed because I was doing massage, right? So I would have like the fold up beds on top of everything else. So I would be making like 2 or 3 trips, right? So that was great. That's so much fun.
I just add so much extra time onto the service.
Oh, big time.
That's
and you have to get there like half an hour earlier just to set up, right?
Yeah.
And then like going up and down the stairs and then going to the bathroom and then like breathe. Okay, now we start at 1 o'clock, right?
A lot of clients don't realize that too. Like, oh, like you're always early, but it's because by the time I set up, it's actually our appointment time starts. So I always take into consideration that when I am booking people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And they can't be late because they're at home. You know what I mean? And if they're like on a phone call or maybe they're in the office and getting a little bit of work done, at least like you can go ahead and set up before they get started, right?
Exactly.
I want to go back to the equipment. I remember like looking for a kit for mobile aesthetics. And I was like, oh, maybe I should just invent one because there's so many like makeup kits, but they're too small. Like they're not wide enough, right? The ones that like you can stack on top of each other, but like they're not wide enough for what we do.
A lot of travel makeup equipment is a little similar, but again, you don't want to be carrying multiple things.
And again, like a wax pot wouldn't be able to fit in it most of the time, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've had a lot of clients too that like to feed me and give me wine.
Oh,
that's nice. I love I think that's the best part of mobile aesthetics.
And clients get angry at you if you don't say yes to stuff.
Yes. And if you don't stay and eat, and I'm like, I have a client. Oh, it doesn't matter. I made you food. I'm like, I love that, but can I have a to-go bag?
Yeah. That is probably one of my biggest challenges.
Yeah. Big time.
Like everyone wants you to stay or hang out, and like you need to have that boundary with clients and your personal business life as well.
Right, absolutely. And some like, you know, some of your clients, they turn into your besties, right? And you do want to have that glass of wine, but like sometimes it's just like, I really would love to stay, but I'm so tired. You know, you were with them for 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever it is. And then like you still have to run home and clean up all your equipment, which is like going home, commuting, and then cleaning up is at least like another hour on top of it, right? So it is a lot to consider.
Yeah.
Do you charge for the travel time as well?
I don't charge extra for my travel time, but I do have limits as to where I do go in the city. So I'm not driving to Canada or Orleans. The farthest west I'll go is Westboro.
Okay.
And east is Rockcliffe Park. But for the most part, I stay in Ottawa South area.
Amazing. I'm loving this. So when you promote, like, have you ever paid for any advertising or is it really just word of mouth and social media?
I've never paid for anything for advertising. Yeah, it's literally all word of mouth, clients, friends, families, and then Facebook and Instagram.
I love. I do not believe in paying for advertising. Like, I really don't think we have to. If you're brand new, you know, maybe like brand new to a new city or a new country, you know, and like you're really trying to establish yourself, yes. But like if you came from a spa, you've developed like at least 10 clients, at least. Everybody knows a friend. Everybody has a friend. Everybody knows somebody that knows somebody. And like you develop a good relationship with those type of individuals and they vibe off of you, you know, your vibe attracts your tribe. So like, I always say, like, if it's a referral, I know I'm going to like them because I like you.
Exactly.
Right? So, like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy that you just established yourself like that. That's awesome.
Yes. It's all word of mouth.
That's great. And the sky is the limit. So
it is.
Good for you.
It is.
So what would you say would be, like, your main struggle in providing mobile aesthetics?
Having a new client, somebody you've never seen before, and you're not sure how capable they are. Like if somebody says they're sick, but like I'm not asking you on beforehand, like, oh, are you able to sit up? Like obviously I'm going to ask that, but I'm not going to go into details with a complete stranger. Right. So on that first appointment, you never know if it's going to take a little bit longer. You also don't know their living arrangements at the same time. So I could be going into a house that I might not even want to go into.
Yeah.
Right?
Or cluttered or,
yeah.
You know, yeah. Or unsanitary too.
Exactly. Right? But honestly, in the 7 years of me doing the mobile, that hasn't come my way, and hopefully it doesn't. Because again, referrals, it's mostly people that you know, friends of friends, family members. But yeah, that's always a risk. You never know like whose house you're going to go into. Yeah.
And just like the new client anxiety anyway, right?
Exactly.
Like anywhere you are, it's just like, okay, is this going to be a Karen or is this going to be my new best friend? You know, like, are you going to come back? And then it's always like the fear of like, oh, my last esthetician did this, and my last, you know, like they've been seeing somebody for so long and they have a specific mindset of like how it's supposed to be done. But we are all so authentic in the way we do things. And it doesn't matter like if we went to the same school or not, like we've learned so much along the way that sets us apart, right?
Exactly.
If we're all the same, then it wouldn't be fun.
It's
right?
so fun. It's so true. So true. Yeah, I love that.
What factors do you contribute for a successful setup? Like what would be, like, how do you set the tone of the atmosphere? Do you have any like specific signature touches or anything for your spa?
So I always very clean freak. Everybody knows that. So the space obviously has to be sanitary and clean at all times. And a lot of clients, when they walk into the house, they always comment on the essential oils going on that day. So that's one of my signature touches, along with a lot of people always say that I have a very gentle aura. So people feel very comfortable with me waxing. And again, most of my waxing clientele I've had for 12 years. They've come with me from Noir. That's awesome. But I always play spa music as well, especially when you're doing Brazilians for half of your day. You want everybody to be comfortable and relaxed as possible, no matter the situation, even though you are waxing pom-poms. You want everyone to be comfortable as possible.
I love that.
Yeah.
What is your main or most popular waxing service, would you say?
Brazilian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to set the tone. You have to make sure that they're relaxed and everything, right? Like it's such an intimidating service. Obviously, it doesn't tickle, so you want it to be like as chill as possible.
Of course, of course. Yeah, and if you have a new client, you want everyone to feel comfortable. So you got to be calm, and you can be nervous, or else everybody knows that you are.
Yeah, big
right?
time. They feed off of your energy, right?
Absolutely.
And if it, like you said, if it's a new client that's never had a Brazilian wax before either, like they psych themselves up, right? And I have so many that are like freaking out, and I'm like, I haven't even touched you yet, but it's just like they're so worried. And I'm like, you see, like Kelly Clarkson or the 40-year-old virgin, like where they're just ripping her out. I was like, everybody's experience is so different. Every wax is so different. Like, yeah, they think that like all hard wax is the same, all soft wax is the same. I'm like, there's thousands out there, and like we do a good job at like trying to find the best for our clientele. None of them are painless, but they are, as suitable as possible. And we try to make it as quick as possible and put pressure and stretch the skin and all that good stuff. So,
of course. Yeah.
Over and done with. Do you take more than one client a day now if you're doing like mobile and waxing at home?
So what I try to do is either half of my morning will be mobile or half of my morning will be waxing, so that I'm not going back and forth. You never know with weather as well. Living in Canada, we have snowstorms, we have construction in the summer everywhere. Have enough time in between each client, but also not stress and overbook myself as well. Yeah, and clients know that too. Like, clients are booking 3 months out.
Nice.
Which is amazing.
Awesome.
They know their schedule. I'm like, I love it. Everyone's organized. If I want to take a vacation, I can tell them I'm not going to be available during this time. I'm going to be away. And everyone respects that as well.
I love that. I love that you're booked 3 months in advance. That just shows that you're incredible at what you do. And I think it's so, especially for like newer estheticians, it's really hard to like get booked up. And I always say, like, make sure at the end of your service that you're already booking them.
Yes.
Right? Like, don't wait until that they get home. Sometimes people, yes, they need to go home and like figure out their schedule. But then in like 2 days, follow up with them. Yeah. And they forget. Yeah. So follow up with them and text them and be like, hey, Queen, like if you needed a service, let me know. Like I get booked up, and like create that urgency, right? If you have like a Saturday open 8 hours, people are going to be like, oh, they're not that good. You know what I mean? Like you need to create that urgency. So like either like show less of a gap, one, or just like again, just as soon as you're done the service, make sure that you're pre-booking ahead of time.
Yeah.
Get it, girl. I love that.
That is something I do struggle with as having my own business, is when do you really shut off? It could be 10 o'clock at night and clients are texting you, but you're trying to have a dinner with friends, or you're trying to go to bed early to start at 8 in the morning. So it is hard to have that sort of work-life balance.
Absolutely. And you're a one-woman show, so like you're doing every single thing, the texting, the inventory, the services, cleaning, everything, right?
A lot of people don't realize too, like, oh, you have your own business, like you set your own hours, you can work when you want, you can take time off when you want. It must be nice to take a 3-week vacation. But you also don't know what goes into it.
That's what they see on social media, right? That's exactly like why I wanted to create this podcast, because it's like everybody sees the glam and the glitz, but like nobody sees all the energy that goes behind it. And like it's so funny how many people think like we're just waxing or we're just doing manicures and pedicures. It's like
how do you think this business thrives? Like, how do you think I get booked? Like, not everything is AI, not everything is automated. So like, you're the one that has to, market yourself and social media is so much work, right? Like whatever platform you're using, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And like promoting and showing before and after pictures and all this. And these are things that we have to do after work, unfortunately, right? I tell myself that my office hours are like 9 to 7, never are, because like sometimes I will text my clients at 10:30 at night and be like, hey, Queen, you don't have to reply. Like, I'm just like giving you a heads up now, because if I don't text them then, I'll forget to do it the next day.
Yes.
And then people know, like on Sundays, leave me alone. Like, I will not answer. I have 2 phones for that specific reason, because I was getting so stressed out about like seeing messages from my clients on like a Sunday. So I was like, I'm just going to leave you at home, and then I'm going to go do whatever I got to do. And then like, I'll deal with it on Monday,
You need to have those boundaries.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're such like people pleasers, especially in this industry. We're nurturing, we're caring, right? But we have to take care of ourselves, or else like we're going to deflate, right?
Of course.
So I love that you go on vacation too. I'm like that this year. I'm like manifesting every 2 months going on vacation. We have another month to go, so we'll see. But the spa's not burning down, is it? Like your services are still taken care of. Right now I have 2 employees, but I do have a social media manager, so I give her my phone. But even like the last time I went to DR, like there was so much chaos going on. Like 2 of my employees were sick. So I was, wasn't making any money while I was gone. And then like, it was just like all this back and forth, and I didn't have really good Wi-Fi either. So it's like, even though I did not have my phone attached to me, like it was still so hard to like set boundaries while I was gone. And I'm like, hey, next time don't text me, like figure it out. Don't ask women, figure it out.
Exactly.
Like it's going to be okay. And clients are going to be okay too, like we're good people. We're not like ignoring them. We're not taking them because we don't want to. We're just literally on vacation, and everybody deserves a vacation.
Yes,
It's important.
it is important. We need to reset so we can take care of everybody.
We were such empaths, right? Like we absorb so much energy when you see like 2 clients a day or you see 10 clients a day, right? And especially if you're going over to their house too, you're absorbing all that energy, right? And clients can be great, and some clients could just be complaining all day, the whole service, right? I find especially like a lot of like home clients, like they're in the comfort of their own house. So they're their true authentic self. Like there is no filter, right? And, like they're very, very comfortable, as they should be. But sometimes like it's just we're their therapist that we did not ask for. And it's like they don't even want the feedback. They just want somebody to talk to.
Exactly.
Yeah. Especially with like seniors and stuff like that too. I find that.
Yeah, you're always an open ear, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. And it's good, but it is a lot to like carry as well. So where's the most exciting place that you've been to like providing a service?
So definitely the hospital as well, because nobody's happy in a hospital. So you're completing somebody's day by taking care of them. When I do get a lot of new clients reach out to me, this is a big thing. Everybody always comments on the fact like, oh, thank you for responding to my inquiry so quickly. I've reached out to 3 or 4 other businesses and no one has reached out. So people do acknowledge that and appreciate it so much more. Definitely that. I have done a couple weddings as well.
For Manny and Petty?
Manny and Petty is for nails. I am one person, so I'm not going to do more than 3 or 4 girls at a time. So that is a little bit difficult, but you plan your day ahead, right? And you let people know ahead as well.
And don't always even give them like a time limit, right? Because everybody's nails skin is very, very different.
Exactly.
I used to do that. It was a client that I had at the spa, and then I would go to her place, but it would be like herself, her mom, and then I think her cousin. But I would be there like the whole entire day. But like, they would feed me, which love. They were Italian, love, shout out. But yeah, like it was a very, very long day. I remember one time I had a friend, she did mobile aesthetics for a while, and she just needed me to like tag onto her team because she had like 7 girls for like a bachelorette. And they were at a cottage, but it was like Carlton Place, farther than Carlton Place. And I'm like, I'm never doing this again. And I was so like irritated because it was just so far. And there was 3 of us, and the 3 of us as estheticians. And then we were there, and like the day was just chaos because it was just like all of us were estheticians, but we never worked with each other, right? So we're all like just kind of
at each other's throats.
Yeah, literally we do things a completely different way. We use different tools and products. So like even like the clients were questioning us like, oh, like why is she using this and you're using that? But it was the longest day of my life. It was so long and my back was so sore. And I think it was just pedicures. I don't think we even did manicures, but it was very, very long. And I was like, yeah, after that, I'm not doing anything more than like 20 kilometers.
Yes.
20 kilometers is my limit. I started doing it a lot like in like Canada and stuff. And I was like, no, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Chateau Laurier, I went once. and they had underground parking, but it was so stressful because it's such a big
Big,
castle.
huge. Yeah.
And my client, I don't even know where I met her. I might have met her at the spa, and then she wanted like a full service, but at home, and it was like a facial. And she had like one of the corner suites, which was super cute and bougie. It was like the first and last time I'll be in one of those rooms. But it was really, really cute. And it was just like nice to be in that environment. I was like, oh, it'd be so nice if like, you know, like politicians or celebrities like would come and then like need this, you know, especially like artists, right? Like before a show, like they would need like some pampering before, right? So I'm always like, when I see an artist, like, do you need your poo-poo wax? Do you need a quick thing?
Yeah.
I would love to like travel for like Rihanna and just like be on her jet and be like, can I wax her poo-poo? You know?
That
That would be goals.
I was actually talking to a hairstylist who she has her own business this week as well. And she just took a trip to Costa Rica. And she was actually inspired on her trip to she started traveling for hair for brides.
Yes.
So we were talking about that, and I was like, honestly, like, what a great idea. And I feel like people in the Audra industry, if you connected with like an event planner, that would be perfect to work together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Whereas I was listening to a podcast a while ago, and they were talking about like hairstylists that like traveled all the way to Europe, and like she would just be hired from like a specific client.
Yeah.
I think it was an artist. And she would go and she'd make crazy money, but everything was accommodated, her flight, her hotel, everything. And I'm like, oh, that'd be so great. But I find for our services, it's a lot harder.
It's harder.
Yeah. It's good for like lashes, makeup, and hair.
Yeah.
Right. And I seen that too, like lash artists, like traveling all over with Cardi B or whatever it is. But even like Cardi B's nail stylist, like she still lives in New York, but like Cardi B will go to her. You know, but she doesn't travel with her because it's just too much equipment.
Exactly.
Right? But now she's like charging like over $200 for a set, you know, probably a lot more than that. And she puts diamonds on it and stuff.
Damn.
But that would be amazing. That would be so cool. Like when I'm on the beach, I'm always like, I should just walk with some sugar.
Right?
And just like go and like, you just need a glove and some cornstarch and like, you know, just start doing it. Imagine.
She's
like, sugar, who needs the sugar? You know, but like again with waxing, it's kind of like a contradiction because you don't want to be in the sun right after.
Exactly.
Right? Sugar especially, you could get so burnt afterwards.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, oh my gosh, I could make so much money just walk like these beach boys just walk up and down, be like, sugar, who needs her poo poo sugar? Like, let's do a quick bikini. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so fun.
That'd be amazing.
I would love to like use work and like travel at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, I would love.
And you worked on cruise ships for a while, so you have that experience.
Yeah. And I actually got offered after to do Atlantis. Like there's an Atlantis in Dubai and an Atlantis in Bahamas. And I really, really wanted to do it, but it was just like I'd have to register like for and like a PR basically down there. And it was a lot, but kind of kicked myself because I didn't do it. But everything happens for a reason. And but yeah, that was really eye-opening. It was incredible to travel. One of the biggest cons for me was that I didn't get to develop a relationship with my clients. I'm very interpersonal. I really want to create that, like, you know, that lifelong friendship. Like, this isn't just like making money for me. I want to create like that environment that, like, you know, like we're besties. Like you're catching up with your bestie. Like you see them more than they see their friends sometimes, right? Every 4 to 6 weeks for a lot of people.
Yep.
I love and adore my clients. I am so excited to see them. You know, it's like we're catching up. I hate small talk. I hate talking about the weather in Ottawa and da-da-da. You know what I mean? Yeah, talk about the juicy details, like, you know. And again, like sometimes they don't have anybody else to talk to. And that's like a sad but also bittersweet part about it. But it's like you're that person, right? Like whether it's like they're talking about their man or their parents or their trauma or whatever it is, like they feel comfortable enough to come to you and in that safe environment and they trust you. Yeah. Not just waxing their poom poom, but also, you know, like delivering a message. Yeah. And they really, they open up, and that's a beautiful thing. And that was, I find, the biggest struggle on the ship is it was only like 5, 7, and 14-day turnaround. So like,
so you would see that person once or twice, maybe.
Yeah. And I did inothermy, which was like a detox treatment. So it was required to do 3 services in a row. But if you're doing like hair, nails, or manicure, like there was like one time you would see them, right?
Yeah.
And I have I can count like 3 or 4 clients that I still have like on Instagram. And like Instagram was not that big back then. You know, this was like 10 years ago at least, right? So it was like you're still taking pictures of like your food on Instagram, right? Like it wasn't like how you're documenting everything right now. What I craved. And it's so interesting how like your past really reflects on your future, right? And like how like it all kind of intertwines. And I'm just reflecting on this right now, but I really like that was like a huge reason why I worked there, because I wanted to develop that environment that I'm going to keep these clients for life. And like they're like my friends, you know, they're not just my clients or my friends. And I would love to create a community with like my clients, like with each other, you know, and just like have like some nights or do like a yoga night or something.
Yeah.
Just like get people to meet each other because I'm like, I like you, you're going to love each other, you know, and it's just, especially as women, like it's harder to connect, I find, especially more organic, especially after the pandemic.
Yeah.
So it's nice to just like have that type of environment.
It is.
So.
Yes.
What is some tools or some boundaries that you set for yourself to help your mental health?
So definitely self-care Sunday, every Sunday.
I love. What do you do?
Every Sunday, I give myself a facial. I also love to do yoga, and I love to cycle in the summer. And I also go to the gym on a regular basis, like 3 to 4 times a week. So that's the time that I have for myself. I'm like, an hour and 15 minutes a day. This is how I'm going to shut off and like focus on myself. I love to go for walks as well. I had a dog. He recently passed away.
So sorry.
So we used to go for walks all the time.
I love that. I really, really love that.
So I do enjoy. I stay quite active, which is amazing. And I think it helps overall too. Doing so many manicures and pedicures, I definitely do have a sore neck at the end of the day. So it's important for me to stretch and take it easy and do things differently.
Big time. Be very mobile, right? And not just like weights. Like so many people are going to be like, have arthritis in the future because they're all focusing on weights. It's like you need flexibility. Like that's what's going to be important when you get older, right? Exactly. Especially in our industry. Every aesthetics industry, you're looking down.
Yeah.
Right? Every single one. Lashes, manicure, pedicure, you're never looking up, right?
Yeah.
So it's like making sure that you create like that comfort for your body, neck, everything.
All about routine.
Yes. I love the self-care Sunday. So you work Monday through Saturday with clients?
Monday through Friday.
And then Saturdays, like you're get everything done, catch up, blah, blah, blah. And then Sundays for you.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love boundaries. It's a new thing I'm learning, but I love it.
You have to.
You have to. You're not going to be able to fulfill your desire, your needs, your life, right? If you don't give yourself that time. So whether it's vacation, whether it's self-care Sunday, whether it's giving yourself like, especially in the aesthetics industry, everybody's like, oh, you get this, you get that done. I'm like, hardly.
No, never.
Ever. No, so you have to create that time to do it. And like, obviously, like getting a facial, like doing it to yourself is nice, but it's lovely when somebody else does it, right? But I don't know when the last time I had a facial by someone else, right? Or massage, like every 4 weeks. I tell everybody to go once a month, especially for what we do.
Yes.
But I don't know when the last time I went. I'm going to do that next week. What was it? And don't go when your body is like broken. Because then it's going to be so much worse.
Yes.
Right? And same with your mentality. Like, don't take a vacation because like you're already depressed. Yeah. Because like you're never really going to catch up. You're going to come back and be bombarded by all this work again. And then you're just going to need another vacation, right? Like you're not really going to recharge. So it's like I promise myself I take a day off before and after I leave. Definitely after. Because I find like on the way home, I'm so stressed about my clients and like what I have to do tomorrow. And then like I'm tired, and whether it's a time change or whatever it is,
you need that time.
You need that time to just like reflect on your awesome vacation and then process like everything.
Yes.
What are some tips that you could give to other estheticians that want to pursue mobile aesthetics?
So definitely put boundaries down from the get-go. If you are going to be traveling a certain distance, charge extra if you are willing to go farther.
And don't forget to claim your gas in your car and all of that stuff for your taxes. Claim everything.
Claim as much as you can. Your accountant also doesn't tell you a lot of things, so you need to do a lot of research on your own.
Yes,
absolutely.
And you're sole proprietor or incorporated?
I'm incorporated.
Nice.
Yes.
Congrats.
Yeah, so there's a lot of new things with that as well. I recently just incorporated within a year. But yeah, you need to put boundaries and don't let clients walk all over you. Otherwise, they will take advantage of you. Yeah. If they want an appointment tomorrow, they're going to message you literally the day before. And you need to let clients know that it's not okay. Like you tell clients that you're not available that soon. If you tell clients that you're booking a month or two in advance, they're going to pre-book.
Oh, for sure. And the ones that don't, they're not meant to be.
Exactly.
And if you do that for one person, they're just going to keep expecting it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't even take walk-ins.
Yeah.
Unless like one of my girls is like not booked. Like today, unfortunately, Lulu had like 4 cancellations. So like right in the middle of her day. So she has like a huge gap now, right? So I threw it out on Instagram, and there's always people looking for services. But I don't like taking brand new clients. One, because half the time they get lost and they don't know how to get there, or two, they just don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
Like back to what you're saying, a lot of people will call like 4 or 5 different spas at once, and like whoever gets back to them first, right?
Exactly.
But sometimes they do book 2, 3 services at 3 different locations, and then they'll just do whatever's convenient for them, right?
That's right.
But if you let it happen once, and they're going to expect it every single time, and it's not fair to you.
Yes. Another thing too is put a strict cancellation policy. A lot of people are taking advantage, I do realize. And other estheticians are saying the exact same thing. Before Christmas, literally, one day I had 4 clients cancel back to back. And that's like $500.
Especially Christmas. That's when we make our money.
Exactly.
And then there's so many other people that are trying to get in.
Yeah. It's one thing if it happens once in a while, but if clients are taking advantage and are constantly like no-showing or giving you less than 24 hours notice, that's a problem. So you definitely do need to be strict about that as well.
Especially if you're going all that way, right? Yeah. Imagine going all that way and then they're not there. You're like knocking on the door and you're like, oh, the lights are out. Oh, where are we?
Oh my god.
That'd be awful. Like drove 20 minutes just to go see them and like not also like just packing the car, packing all your and tools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? Like that'd be awful.
That would be awful.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they at least text you. But yeah, no, setting boundaries. I love that. I think at the beginning it was really hard for me to do that, especially with some clients that you're so close with, right? Yeah. Or like now I charge like a $10 late fee. And there's some people, it's inevitable, they're always going to be late. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to block off extra time for that client, but I'm still going to charge them $10 because I'm like, you're still not respecting my time. Like,
exactly.
You know where the spa is located, you know it's traffic hour, you know A, B, and C, you know what I mean? And it's never like, oh, I slept in or, you know, like it's just...
Or they walk in with a Starbucks coffee.
Always.
15 minutes late.
At least buy me one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you bought me one, I would have charged you $10. $10 coffee though.
That's
you know, but it's so true. I love that you got incorporated. I want to talk about that a little bit because I literally just signed my papers last night. So Thank you. Congratulations to you too. Long overdue for sure. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I think again, like even like I went to school for business and stuff, but a lot of this is just not, I want to say like taught, but also just not like pushed, you know? And I find like sole proprietorship is very safe, right? You know, and it's just us, but like I was taught, like I got a really, really good lawyer this year and he was like, you have to look at it from like an insurance point of view, right? Like if somebody slips and falls by accident on their floor and they want to, you know, charge you like $10,000 or sue you for $10,000, then you're liable for it if your insurance doesn't cover it all, right? Like say your insurance covers 50%, so you still have to like cough up $5,000 extra dollars. When you're incorporated, you don't have to worry about that, right? It's all like through your business. And plus like the tax cuts are going to be crazy for next year, I'm hoping, and dividends, all that good stuff. But it is so overwhelming. And especially if you're doing it by yourself, like it's really hard to get good feedback and find a good lawyer and, you know, accountant and things like that. And like you said, like accountants like hold so much information back from you too.
Yeah, right? You definitely need to do a lot of research on your own.
So congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. So Polished Mobile Esthetics Incorporated.
Yes.
Ew, I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, I'm so happy for you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, good. All right. So I want everybody in Ottawa to know if you are looking for an esthetician that is going to come to your house, make you feel safe, confident, beautiful, and healthy, definitely hit up Vanessa at Polished Mobile Esthetics. Do you want to share where they can find you, social media, website, all that stuff?
So I'm on Instagram as Polished Mobile Aesthetics, and I'm on Facebook as that as well. You can reach out, DM, message me anytime if you have any questions.
I'll leave all of her information in the show notes below as well.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Anything else to say?
That's everything.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We got our show today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. I am your host, Katrina Lewis-Dixon, and I see you, boo-boo. Whether you're at home, driving, or setting up for your clients, let's boss up together. If this podcast aligns with you, then please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Later.